Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. My name is Ollie, and this is Ollie's Match Review. Stockport County 4, Newport County 0. I think the initial reaction to that result is pretty easy to describe. Coming into this result off the back of that Good Friday match against Northampton where we won 3-0, I think a lot of us felt like we was unstoppable. But we met our match today against a team who are more than deserving of their position in the league table, which is currently 4th, I believe, and not too many points off from the automatic promotion spots. The lineup today was a little bit interesting. We had Joe Day net. Then we had Aaron Lewis and Cameron Norman as the wing backs, Matt Baker, Mickey Demetriou and Declan Drysdale as the three centre backs. We then had Aaron Wildig and Scott Bennett as the centre mids, I believe. And then we had Charlie McNeil as a sort of number 10, Callum Kavanagh and Omar Bogle. Now, Graham Coughlin said this week it was hard to get 3 players into 2 positions, and he managed to get 3 players into 3 positions. So I'm not sure if this was a little bit of an experiment or if this was Coughlin trying to keep players fit and keep players happy coming into this run-up. I'm not sure what it was, but it didn't work. So I believe I'll be duly noted and taken back to the drawing board, where I presume I'll rip off a sheet of paper and just write 5-3-2 on it again. The game did really highlight how reliant to an extent we are on Harry Charlesley in midfield. It kind of gave us the flashbacks of where we were in December and the times before the transfer window when we signed Charlesley, and how kind of hopeless the midfield and how poor we were to transfer the ball from defence to attack was. And obviously Harry Charlesley came in, did a brilliant job of that. He's picked up a little injury, so missed the Northampton game where, we didn't miss him too much, but you could argue he was playing a bit more of a wider style of football and a bit more of a direct style of football against Northampton. So whether Harry Charlesley would have played on Friday possibly wouldn't have made a difference. But you could definitely see the impact that Harry Charlesley has on the team. The 4 goals can really be summed up to just some defensive errors. Simple things like, for example, on the first goal, we give them far too much space to get the cross in, and once the cross is in, it's headed away easily. The aerial defence is lacking a lot, especially without the likes of Farquharson in the defence. Again, we gave them far too much space. We lost track of the Stockport players countless times. We looked afraid to put a tackle in, especially on their second goal, where they just on the third goal, where they kind of just run at us. All stuff that is taught in Defending 101, all stuff that will be fixed easily, but I think that's what gives us the most anger, is the fact that we can do all the fancy stuff amazingly, we can't do the basics. And you'd kind of hope that, Graham Coughlin, being a former centre-back, would be hammering that into our players. So I wouldn't want to be a county player this week with the subsequent training and probably a bollocking they'll get tomorrow or whenever they're in training next from Coughlin and possibly Joe Dunn. So, yeah, it's a game where we draw a line in it, put that behind us. We've got arguably the biggest game of the season now coming up on Saturday. Hartlepool at home. Hartlepool are currently 22nd. We are 9 points above Crawley, who are in 23rd, although we have the game in hand against Harrogate in April. So Hartlepool and Harrogate are the two biggest games. We definitely need to get a point out of Hartlepool, ideally a win, and we definitely need to get something out of the Harrogate game in mid-April. But that's just my thoughts on the match. Let me know yours down below. Whilst you're down there, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it about. Let me know your opinions on the match. My name's been Ollie, and as always, up the county.